Yo, man, what's good to Mr. Bo McKenna, aka Mr. Nepro Boy. Today's video, man, we got the most unethical hooper in basketball. Let's get straight into it.
The ethical hooper, a player who is true to the game, plays basketball the way it was meant to be played. No flopping, no stat padding, just pure hoops. And the opposite of the unethical.
I'm sorry, but Shea, bro, he gets way too many free throws. Last night, he had 21 free throws, and they still lost to the Warriors. 21 free throws? Bro, LeBron doesn't even get 10 free throws a game. Oh my gosh.
Ethical hooper, the player who...
And LeBron gets fouled damn near every time. Bro, LeBron gets fouled there damn... LeBron gets fouled damn near every time he drops to the rim. Every time. It's facts.
Relies on foul baiting and gimmicks and a barrage of free throws to fill the stat sheet. And right now, there is an unethical hooper among us. Well, at least that's the reputation Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is building at the moment, with some fans claiming his historic season has been propped up with foul hunting and...
It is foul hunting, bro. He literally goes into the body and they call a foul on the defender. It makes no sense.
An absurd free throw volume manufactured from gimmicks and tricks that are a disservice to the game. But if Shai is a foul grifter...
You see what I mean? Do y'all see what I mean? This is what we be talking about. This is what I'll be talking about right here. This is what people be talking about when they watch the game and Shai gets every foul call he wants. Let it be Curry. Let it be LeBron. They can't get no type of foul call, but they let Jokic... Let them push with his forearm, and they don't call offensive foul or nothing like that. But if LeBron does it, it's offensive foul. Makes no sense.
A free throw merchant. Then I've got some bad news about some of your all-time favorite players. Today's video is sponsored.
You're not gonna get me. Nope. Hey, shout out to you though, and saying get your money, gang. But we're not here for that. We're here for the video. Y'all know what's up.
As the 2025 NBA MVP race continues to grow closer and closer, fans across the league are finding any and every hair to split to pick a side between two players having historically great seasons. The impossibly good Serbian gunning for his 4th MVP, or the superstar guard looking to break a 6-year chokehold big men have had on the award. And with a race this tight, deciding the most valuable player in the league may just boil down to the smallest, seemingly insignificant things, like free throws.
Bro.
Now, basketball isn't much of a thinking man's sport, but leave it up to us to create a philosophical divide amongst the type of players we like and don't like. On one side, you have the locally sourced, all-natural, ethical hoopers. And on the other, you have players who essentially rely on a bag of tricks and gimmicks to navigate games and get free buckets.
Especially Harden and Embiid. Bro. Harden literally... There's no step back and his feet, bro, like, you try to go hard and they're gonna call it foul every time. It's annoying. It's annoying because you can't do nothing about it. The ref is gonna call a foul.
It's from the line. Do I believe basketball actually has any sort of moral code? No. In fact, the idea of a morally superior basketball player seemed like a joke until it entered the vocabulary of head coaches around the league, making it about as real as anything else. But there is something distinctly different about these two styles of play, both aesthetically and productively. The real question is how reliant on free throws these alleged unethical hoopers are, and are they truly earning their trips to the free throw line, or are they tampering the game with their bag of tricks?
Bro,
and a question we all need to consider: does Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and his game even warrant the label of unethical? Now, one way to approach this question is simply by looking at the rates at which players are attempting free throws. When looking at a metric like free throw attempts per field goal attempt, SGA ranks 24th among all players this season, behind players like Trae Young, Damian Lillard, Anthony Davis, Giannis, and even an aging James Harden, who was able to escape the claims of foul baiting and stat padding years ago. So just purely looking at the rate at which players are drawing fouls.
Dwight Powell? What?
SGA isn't doing anything out of the ordinary. But to better understand Shea's scoring profile, we need to look at the kinds of fouls Shea draws and where they're coming from. Most shooting fouls don't happen out here, they happen in here. Players that stay aggressive and drive the ball more tend to put more pressure on the defense and draw more fouls. This is why a player like Dwayne Wade, for example, who spent his prime years attempting 10 free throws a game, was never associated with any foul hunting. He earned his free throws.
Exactly.
This season, the player who drives to the basket far more than anyone else in the entire league is Shea. In fact, nearly half of all of his free throw attempts are generated through his drives to the basket. And again, if we look at the rate these drive leaders are drawing fouls on their drives, Shea is getting calls at an average rate, far from what you might see from other superstars both past and present. Which brings us to a real point of contention when it comes to SGA and his historic season. One of the odd and universally accepted aspects of NBA basketball is that superstars get calls. This has been a thing since the inception of—
Yeah, superstars do get called, but Curry doesn't really get the calls like that. And LeBron doesn't get calls like that. It's Austin Reeves. I fuck with Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves get more superstar type of calls than LeBron James. That tells you they're trying to push out. They're trying to push out Curry, LeBron, KD. They're trying to push them out the league so they can, elevate these Edwards, Shea, Wemby, players like that.
Once you transcend that highest tier of player, you essentially get the benefit of the doubt, even at times when you shouldn't.
He never controlled it, Michael. He didn't touch it with both hands. That's the thing. You think so, Michael? 55 hits, 2 to come. Michael, I didn't see 2 hands on him, Michael. Yeah. But I believe you. You did. But I believe you.
We know this.
Everybody talking about I believe you, but I didn't see anything.
And we accept it. And Shea
crazy.
is a superstar, except he hasn't consistently gotten these phantom superstar calls this season. Since the introduction of tracking data back in 1996, there have been 36 instances of a player averaging at least 30 points per game for a season. And when ranking these 36 individual seasons according to free throw rates, SGA this season ranks 26th, behind guards like Harden, Wade, Iverson, and Luka. But again, most shooting fouls should come from shots taken in the paint or around the rim. Of course, players do get clipped on threes and long jumpers and draw fouls by other means, but really it's getting downhill that tends to generate trips to the line. And specifically among guards, Shea gets into the paint and attempts more shots from inside than any other prolific scorer since the introduction of tracking data. This season—
Yeah, I'll be honest right now. Like foul baiting, if the player was on your team that you like, that's your favorite team, you're not gonna care. But when you go against it, it's so annoying because you can't do nothing about it. It's so, I'm trying to tell you, because they look for the foul. Trae Young looks for the foul. You know what I'm saying? And then when they don't get it, they start crying.
Shea is attempting nearly 54% of all of his shots from within 10 feet of the basket. Meanwhile, players like Kobe, Iverson, Luka, Harden, and Dame all have multiple seasons where they weren't getting into the paint nearly as much and still yielded far more trips to the free throw line. Shea is statistically the most aggressive volume scoring guard in recent NBA history. He takes the most shots that historically should earn trips to the free throw line, and there isn't a single metric that suggests his free throws are inflated or unwarranted. Of the previously mentioned 36 seasons of 30 points or more a game, the average number of free throws taken per game across the board is 10. This season, Shea is averaging just 8.3. So, if anything, considering his usage and his play style, Shea is actually not getting enough calls. If we've learned anything from witnessing the last decade of scoring maestros, it's that this is just the nature of great scorers. They're hard to stop. They force the defense to get physical, they get you in positions you don't want to be in, overreacting, reaching, even taking gambles hoping it yields you a stop or a turnover, when more often than not, it's just going to end up in another trip to the free throw line. And on an abstract—
Come on, they giving that? LeBron is the same thing. LeBron again, no type of calls like that. Let's be honest now. Come on, let's be honest. LeBron don't get called like that. Let's be honest. LeBron gets fouled so much that they just swallow their whistle
scale of basketball morality, I don't think SGA plays an unethical style of hoops. I think he's a better and more prolific scorer than some fans are willing to give him credit for. He's not relying on free throws to get his numbers. When compromised, the defense is relying on fouling him just to slow him down. Most of Shea's drawn shooting fouls look something like this, where he drives into the lane and inexplicably rips through the defender's arms to put up a shot. It is damn near impossible to predict, and it works almost every time a defender cuts him off or puts a body on him. And we've seen this before with James Harden, a free trip to the line disguised as a shot attempt. In fact, this is like the 2.0 version of Harden's rip-through, because it does a much better job of masking itself as an actual shot rather than an attempt to just draw a foul. And I think that's where most fans get frustrated with this kind of basketball. It's not necessarily the outcome of the move, but rather the intent. Because we know he's not actually trying to score the ball here. He is purely looking for a foul, and he knows he...
Look, that right there is probably annoying if you're watching it. Especially when you're going against that or watching against that, you know damn well that's annoying to watch. That is annoying because you can't do nothing about it. And the player, he's good at foul bait. He's good at going, you know what I'm saying? Bro, if you're going to give him the angle, bro, you're going to foul him. You're going to have to foul him, you know what I'm saying?
He can get these calls. And you could call this unethical
like
hoops.
That, you know?
Or you could call it smart basketball. Kobe Bryant was notorious for making opposing players pay for bad defense, drawing fouls for the sake of drawing fouls. And when he did it, it wasn't viewed as his fault for taking advantage of the rules. It was the defender's fault for falling for the move in the first place. If you don't want to get baited, don't fall for the bait. You reach, I teach, as some half-decent basketball player once said. Take this play here, where he gets the defense on his hip, out of position, and reaching in to disrupt the shot. Now, Shea is baiting the foul here, and he's going to get it every time, because he already beat the defense 3 steps ago. Or this play here, where Shea has a 7-footer in a mismatch, feeds him the bait, and Markkanen falls for it, leading to the shooting foul.
I don't think it's like, you fall for this?
Smash, feeds him the bait, and
come on now, bro.
Markkanen falls for it, leading to the shooting foul. Some fans may say this is an act of basketball sin, intentionally jumping into the defender instead of just pulling up off the step back. But I don't see it that way. You've got a 7-footer on an island with no help guarding the league's leading scorer, and you leave your feet on a pump fake.
Score. They didn't score. They didn't score. See, he said that shit,
island with no help guarding the league's leading scorer. 7-footer on an island with no help guarding the league's leading scorer.
Bro.
And you leave your feet on a pump fake. Shea isn't playing unethical hoops. He's taking advantage of bad defense. All the great scorers knew this, and they all took advantage of it.
Okay,
as much as we resented the
him.
tricks James Harden would deploy throughout his prime scoring years, it's worth asking the question, was it the foul baiting and free throws that allowed him to be the scorer he was? Or was he such a great scorer that he could bend the defense to his will whenever he wanted to? Same thing goes for a player like Joel Embiid. If the gimmicks added an extra 10% to his production, would we concede that he was in fact a historic scorer, even if he had 90% of the production, but he did it ethically? Among high-volume scorers of this century, players who averaged at least 30 points per game since 2000, according to this idea of honest scoring, 2016 Stephen Curry would be the most ethical scorer, averaging 30 points per game with just 5 free throw attempts. And on a scale of free throw reliance, 2025 Shea is far closer to Steph than he is to countless other all-time great scoring seasons. If SGA's game falls into the category of unethical hooper, then so does Kobe's, and Luka's, and Dame's, and Iverson's, and Durant's, and all of our favorite all-time great scorers. It is an unfair label on one of the best individual seasons in recent NBA history, and it is objectively not true. And if none of that changed your mind, then maybe this will. Here is every single season in modern NBA history where a player averaged at least 25 points per game, 354 individual seasons since 1980, and they are graphed in terms of scoring average and free throw attempts per game. The further right a player is, the more free throws they attempted. The further up a player is, the more points they averaged. So way off to the right are the seasons of all-time high free throw attempts, and where you'll find most historic scoring seasons, like some Embiid seasons, some LeBron seasons, Jordan's highest scoring seasons, Luka, Harden, Shaq. Even the pure bucket getters like Durant and McGrady often found themselves at the line during the peak of their power.
Jordan, that makes Embiid, Harden, Bron, Shaq, KD, McGrady, Luka.
So where does Shea's
sense.
2025 season land? It's right here. The 18th highest scoring season in modern NBA history, while attempting just the 142nd most free throws per game. And that, my friends, is some honest, homegrown, ethical hoops.
All right. Y'all let me know what you think down below, man. Does Shea look for the Shea foul baiting? Y'all let me know down below, man. I'll see you guys in the next one, man. We out.